To Seuss or not to Seuss? That is the question. Dr. Seuss is a household name, an icon in the world of children's literature. From The Cat in the Hat to Oh, the Places You'll Go, there are over 45 published children's titles by Dr. Seuss. It would be astounding to meet someone who had never heard of the famed author. If you do meet someone who's never heard of him, please tell them about him. Should you read Dr. Seuss to your children? Absolutely. The ideological and moral messages in Dr. Seuss books has remained relevant for over 50 years, over 70 years even. And they can teach children a multitude of life skills. I remember learning about the Lorax in middle school in my social studies class. The idea that we could help our environment if we just cared was profound when I was 13. If nothing else, Dr. Seuss taught me that if I wanted to change something, I had to start. Dr. Seuss is a wonderful way to promote healthy critical thinking in our children. Born Theodore Seuss Geisel in 1904, Dr. Seuss experienced many turbulent world problems throughout his life. He was an Army veteran of the Second World War and saw the Western world face environmental, economic, and political problems that changed the world. A lot of his children's stories center around real-world problems. For example, Yertle the Turtle centers around political authority and the result of not allowing citizens equal rights. And today the great Yertle, that marvelous he, is king of the mud, that is all he can see. And the turtles, of course, all the turtles are free, as turtles, and maybe, all creatures should be. This story teaches children that people should be equal and share responsibility in their communities. The Lorax is another wonderful example of real-world problems. Unsustainable resources and environmental awareness around the impact of industrialization. "Mister," he said with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. "What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft?" There are many other examples of this, not to mention stories like Green Eggs and Ham, which conveys how important and simple it is to try new things, or Horton Hears a Who, which conveys the importance of caring for each other regardless of the differences between people in our community. Some of Dr. Seuss's published works have been taken from the shelves and will no longer be published. That is okay. We have an abundance of stories left. I will forever read Dr. Seuss to my children. I will forever read Seuss for myself. The stories are rhythmic and enjoyable. The underlying issues they address are profound. The images are whimsical and just make you smile. It is almost sad that some of these lessons remain relevant 50, 70 years later, but we are making progress in our world. And the more these stories are read and told, the more awareness people will have. The first step in solving these big issues is to eradicate ignorance. If we are aware, we are better able to combat things that need changing. Reading books like the ones authored by Seuss encourage awareness. Seuss is meant to be appreciated and enjoyed. I suggest reading the Sleep book to your children at least once. You will want to read it repeatedly. A moose is asleep. He is dreaming of moose drinks. A goose is asleep. He is dreaming of goose drinks. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice, and nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice, but it isn't too good when a moose and a goose start dreaming they're drinking the other one's juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is juice for a moose, and goose juice, not moose juice, is juice for a goose. So when moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses, and goose gets a mouthful of juices of mooses, they always fall out of their bed screaming screams. So I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. The Sleep book is a long story filled with imaginative wonder, simply meant to put your little one to sleep. It has always worked for my children. It is too long for them to make it through most nights. In conclusion, I suggest you read Seuss for yourself, you read Seuss for your children, and you read Seuss for anyone who will listen. Raise awareness, make a difference, and just enjoy these stories that have been around for so long and have been enjoyed by so many people. They're wonderful.